Hello everyone, how are you all doing out there? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to discuss with you what Nintendo might be doing when it comes to officially revealing the first look at Metroid Prime 4. So this idea is really built off of the response to seeing Nintendo's full demonstration of gameplay from Tears of the Kingdom. We all know this has been a very exciting week because at the beginning of the week, Eiji Aonuma actually sat down and for 10 minutes played straight gameplay for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the first time we've really gotten to see and understand what the game will actually be like and look like and play like, and it was really great. Now, to be fair, the reception in a lot of ways has been mixed. I know in the responses to my own video discussing my reactions and breakdown of that gameplay, I've seen a lot of people in the comments of that video, and even online, honestly, on Twitter, talking about how they don't necessarily feel that much more excited about the game now that they've seen this gameplay. Some people feel like it looks too similar to Breath of the Wild. They're just concerned that it's going to feel like $70 DLC. We heard those complaints before the gameplay, and I'm honestly, personally, still seeing more of that conversation even after the 10 minutes of gameplay. But regardless to the internet's reception to what the game itself actually looks like, what I want to do is talk about how that format, that style of presentation of a first look at gameplay from a huge, hotly anticipated game could actually become maybe part of what Nintendo does for a lot of their biggest games going forward, and most specifically, how this could be how they reveal Metroid Prime 4. Now, before I jump any deeper into discussing the reveal of Metroid Prime 4, I do want to quickly remind you that I am trying to cross 20,000 subscribers in the next few weeks or the next few months. I am less than 200 away, which is very exciting. This year is my 10th year doing YouTube and running Rule of Two Review, which is very exciting. So if you are new to the channel and you like what I'm doing and how I have my discussions here, then I sure hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel to help me hit that milestone sooner than later. So Metroid Prime 4 has had a rocky road. We all know this, and of course, I've been talking about it the entire 6 years since the game was first revealed as a project at E3 2017. It is literally almost 6 years ago that first logo showed up on screen and blew our minds. And of course, we all know that almost 2 years later, in early 2019, they did, of course, scrap that initial version of the game that we never saw. We've never seen even a second of footage or gameplay. We don't even know what Samus is going to look like in Metroid Prime 4. So they scrapped that version and they rebooted it by handing a new project of Metroid Prime 4 back over to Retro Studios. And so here we sit in March of 2023, where it's been just over 4 years of development on that specific version of the game. Some of my recent conversations about Metroid, I have reminded you guys that the version of this game we will eventually play whenever it releases and whatever console it releases on is not the game that started development in 2017 when they revealed the game to us. This will be a game that was actually started in early 2019. And it's important to note that the development of the game is shorter than the 6 years it maybe feels like. And I think that sometimes people forget that. And so even though everything around this game and its imminent reveal is a mystery, I personally believe, and I have for a while, that we will see Metroid Prime 4 revealed and reconfirmed and shown to the world in some way in 2023 before the year is over. And of course, we then start to ask, what is the manner with which Nintendo would reveal this game to us? And if they're going to show gameplay, which honestly, I think we all expect that they would, because that's how Nintendo reveals 99% of their games anyway. If they were going to show us gameplay in a trailer or something, how would they do it? When would they do it? What form would it take? Is it going to be in a Nintendo Direct? Would it happen over this summer? Is it something that they would maybe do at the very end of the year and confirm that the game is going to release next year? I mean, all of these options are, of course, on the table. But bringing this back to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and the gameplay demo we saw this week, I kind of think that we might have actually seen a glimpse into Nintendo's future marketing for some of their biggest games. And instead of a 30-minute Nintendo Direct, and instead of a full-on treehouse, we actually just got one of the main developers and producers behind the game sitting down to play the game, show us the gameplay with no interruptions, and give us commentary on the game and what it's going to be like. Now, of course, I do want to bring up what I'm sure you're all already starting to type in the comments anyway. Yes, there is a chance Nintendo will still give us a Nintendo Direct or a deeper look into Tears of the Kingdom before that game actually comes out. There is still a month and a half before it actually releases. This 10-minute gameplay demo might not be the last thing that they give us. I do think there's about a 50-50 shot that we still see a Nintendo Direct before the game releases. But even if we do, I don't think that that changes my personal kind of takeaway from what we saw from that game. And I think that there is a value in just straight, no frills, no BS gameplay demonstrations of big, hotly anticipated games, right? I really look at this 10-minute gameplay demo of Tears of the Kingdom as like a truncated treehouse. And again, for those of you who have been following me for a while, I've been talking about my desire to see a treehouse for Tears of the Kingdom more so than a Nintendo Direct. I don't necessarily need a direct packaged presentation for Tears of the Kingdom. If they would have sat down for an hour or two and just played the game and talked about the game while we were watching gameplay and only gameplay, that to me would have been fantastic. And this 10-minute demonstration that Aonuma did, to me, is literally a truncated 10-minute version of kind of like a treehouse. And so I like to think that we might see future demonstrations from Nintendo in the future for a lot of their games, especially if there's a new generation around the corner. Maybe this is a way for them to showcase that going forward in the Switch 2 era, this might be how we show off some of our biggest games. Maybe we're going to start doing less of the Nintendo Direct thing that's focused on one title, and maybe we just do these gameplays to get demonstrations. Maybe not, of course, I'm just speculating and just guessing, I don't know, but I kind of think that maybe that's what that was. And so when we come back to Metroid Prime 4, what if in 2023, before this year is over, if they want to show us what this game is going to look like, or even if this is next year, forget the timing. When we get close to the actual release of Metroid Prime 4, I think there's a great chance that our first significant look at gameplay, outside of maybe a short teaser trailer, could actually be another gameplay demonstration by probably Kensuke Tanabe, who's the producer on Metroid Prime 4, instead of Aonuma, who works on Zelda. Maybe he or someone else, or even part of the Treehouse team, sits down and gives us a 10 to 15 minute gameplay demonstration of Metroid Prime 4. I think that could be what Nintendo eventually does. I'll be very curious to hear what a lot of you guys think, and if you maybe feel similarly to me with what you took away from that Tears of the Kingdom gameplay demonstration. Is there a chance that maybe Nintendo does more of those things in the future? Do you feel like I do that maybe we just saw a taste of how Nintendo's marketing for their biggest games may look going forward? And again, especially if we really are on the cusp of a new generation, maybe this is how they're going to change up some of their marketing strategy, you know? I mean, at some point, gameplay companies have to change things up and do things differently. And I think that this gameplay demo of Tears of the Kingdom is a great marrying of ideas. It's kind of like a Nintendo Direct mixed with a Treehouse demonstration, mixed with a trailer, mixed with a developer interview, right? It's like all of these things combined into one little 10-minute gameplay thing. And, you know, other companies have done similar things in the past, but the way Nintendo does it always feels a little bit more unique and special, at least in my opinion. And I really liked the kind of intimate nature of what we got with this 10 minutes of Tears of the Kingdom. And again, you know, it goes without saying, Metroid Prime 4 is the only Nintendo game confirmed to be working on that we know about, right? There's Zelda, there's Pikmin 4, both of those have release dates in the next few months, and then there's Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, we all know and assume that they're making a new Mario game, that they're making a new Mario Kart game, obviously Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers and Pokemon games. We know that these things are being made. There's definitely a great chance that they're working on something like a Donkey Kong or a Kid Icarus or something like that, maybe remastering other GameCube games, as I've talked about. We can assume things that they're working on, but the only thing we know that they're making, that they have told us is in development, is Metroid Prime 4. And I'm the world's biggest Metroid fan. Metroid Prime is my favorite game. Metroid Prime 4 is more exciting to me than anything gaming could possibly produce right now. And so I just want to know that when Nintendo is ready to start showing us this game, that they take a page out of the Tears of the Kingdom book and say, let's take the developers, sit them down, and just show the people gameplay. No frills, no BS, like I said earlier, no fluff, just play the darned game. Now, of course, the last point I want to leave you guys here with is that I'm not saying that trailers also aren't valuable. Yeah, I want a trailer as well. And in fact, the first time we see Metroid Prime 4 is 99.9% guaranteed to be a trailer. Now, will that trailer be 30 seconds with only 10 seconds of gameplay? Is it going to be a full 2 or 3 minute trailer with a ton of gameplay and with story context? Who knows? It could be either of those. It could be something else kind of totally different. But of course, I just want to remind you guys that trailers make sense and still hold value, and I do want to see just a regular ass old trailer for Metroid Prime 4. But man, this gameplay demo thing, this 10-minute thing that they did for Tears of the Kingdom, I really thought it was great. You know, everyone's opinions on the game aside, it's about the format, it's about the structure, it's about that choice to do a 10-minute developer gameplay session, right, and give commentary over it while you're playing it. Again, similar to a Treehouse. I would love to see them do the same thing with Metroid. It would show us that Nintendo also is considering Metroid, and Metroid Prime 4 specifically, in that higher tier. It's a way to show us that Nintendo is caring about a franchise in a different way. And that kind of marketing goes a long way to making games really successful, especially when it's Nintendo behind it. As I've talked about recently, when Nintendo turns their marketing machine on to full potential, they can make anything possible. The example I used was the first Splatoon on the Wii U. The numbers that game sold on the unsuccessful Wii U is insane for a brand new IP. And look at what they did. Metroid Dread did something similar. Context was different, but still huge achievement for the Metroid franchise on the Switch. So imagine if they do similar things and they give gameplay demonstrations for Metroid Prime 4. Don't hide the game. Let us see what it really is and looks like and plays like. And I think the Tears of the Kingdom demo might be a showcase of how Nintendo will show us Metroid Prime 4. Hopefully it happens this year. Maybe it happens next year. But either way, this is what I think we might actually see for Metroid.